Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now today I'm gonna be doing something different again, as I'm going to look over Roblox Titanic again, this time actually for the third time, because I haven't checked it out in a while and I want to maybe I have something to say about it that's different from last time a few years ago, or yeah, maybe something has changed, so I'm excited for this. And anyways, let's begin. Oh, here we are. I'm currently in the captain's lobby. I'm gonna go into the main lobby for a second. The ship is seems like it has respawned now, so let's actually go aboard. And yeah, this is already bringing back memories for me. As you can see, I really like this model they made, because it's very lag-free and it's actually very good. Even with the Roblox engine, which can sometimes be very tricky. And even though they had these limitations, they still managed to bring an incredible model. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't know what the lifeboat over there is doing, but ignore that. And I've ragdolled again, very nice. And I'm gonna try to release the steam. I have a habit of pressing F when I mean to press G. Ooh, that's very nice, I like it. Yeah, this is a very nice model, so I'm actually gonna check it out for a second time now. Now this is very interesting. Normally there should be a door here. I don't know if that was an oversight or they maybe found some documentation that says that this was supposed to be like this, but I think there was a door here. Might just be a little bit of an error, I don't know. But yeah, these hallways are simple with all because there's just textures, but that's totally fine since textures help with the lag, and that is a really important factor in this model. It has to be more low poly, so yeah, so you can actually play it on like a mobile phone, which is very important for the experience. Oh, and here, it is interesting. The server-wide messages are no longer at the purser's office. They're actually in the Marconi room, which is very nice. That makes sense. And yeah, the first class grand staircase, I actually like the dome, even though it's just a texture, it's nicely formed. Yeah, my dome in my Roblox Titanic version was built out of bricks, which was a lot more difficult than it had to be. But yeah, they did it like this, and I think that works too. Now over here they have some doors here to block off this area. Now I personally wouldn't have put doors as a texture here because there wouldn't have been any. But hey, if it makes sense and they wanted to block it off. But otherwise I do like these walls. They're very simple and low poly. I think I actually have the low poly version on at the moment, but that might just be an oversight from me. I can't find any settings at the moment, but I think this is the low poly version. But still, it's very good because it uses meshes. It's a very nice idea, since it also probably helps with the lag. And as you can see, we're actually tilting over to the port side, and that is actually a very interesting fact you might not have known, is that there was indeed a coal fire on board, but it was really just a smoldering little thing in the coal bunker on the starboard side of the ship, so the right side. And to basically to make the fire go out, they basically had to shovel coal from the starboard to the port side, and that shift of the weight obviously made the ship tilt somewhat. Now it's not a lot it tilted by, it just, I believe, like 3 degrees, but it was enough for, I believe, Lawrence Beasley, which is a second class passenger, to notice. And yeah, as you can see, now in real life it wouldn't have noticed as much because the lines wouldn't have been so clear, but I can definitely see some very astute viewers that would have noticed that. Yeah, down here on D deck it's actually also very nice. Now obviously the reception room up here on D deck is not finished, and I don't think it will ever be till 3.0 comes out, and that is strictly, apparently actually it's because of some memory problems, which I guess makes sense. I personally am not a game designer, so I couldn't tell you, but yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer, but it's also understandable that the game just can't handle that much. So in 3.0 they're planning to make some optimizations to the brand new model, and when that gets built, they're planning to build all of what exists on this model, and then also some extra if there's actually still room in terms of lag and stuff. It seems like it's now nighttime. I actually like the atmosphere. It's very nice. It's different to the old Roblox lighting, and they actually made it look a lot more realistic, which I find very nice. We're gonna hit. Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah, it's definitely gonna hit. This is really bad. I think we didn't turn enough, guys. We're screwed. There it goes. I just heard a tail motor. I think we're turning to port, guys. Oh my god, we just hit it. Oh my god, you can see it out of portholes. That's scary. Guys, wake up. There's been a problem. Guys, why are there any doors here? Guys, people would most likely start to wake up now. Not a lot, probably, but a few definitely. I'm actually gonna go now and check out the boiler rooms. I'm actually interested if I can hear water, the doors closing. So there's probably, yeah. Oh my god, that's a lot of water. Yeah, this is a really cool effect that they have the water rising down here, even though this is not where the water line is. As you can see, it's bugging out up there. But wow, yeah, it's pretty cool. There's water rushing in from the starboard side, and we're probably gonna list to the starboard any minute now. And wow, yeah, guys, get the lifeboats ready. You don't even need to check if it's sinking, because I can definitely tell you we are sinking. Second class. This is very nice. Now, I don't think the second class passengers would have noticed very much, honestly. I just had an elevator thing. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't use an elevator during these times, because it might actually get stuck or something. It's always very risky on ships. Like in real life, if you think there's an emergency, please don't use the elevator. It's like the stupidest thing you can do ever, because you'd never know what could happen. Apparently, like in the Costa Concordia, some people actually died in the elevators because they were in the elevators when they shouldn't have been. So yeah, please don't do that. You're gonna be in big trouble if you do. I personally actually almost never use elevators on ships. Oh wow, yeah, what a view, man. The iceberg has passed us now, and we're still listing to port, but we're slowly starting to tip over to the starboard side. Now the starboard side of the holds are now flooding, with the fireman's passage blocking the port side from getting flooded. We're gonna list over quite badly. Now apparently, if the port list at the beginning hadn't been there, the ship would have actually rolled over within an hour towards the starboard side, but because of that port list from the fire, the ship actually never tilted over, even and you might know even Andrews thought the ship might sink in an hour, but yeah, he didn't factor in this list, so that's, I guess, very lucky there. Captain, we're sinking. Oh my god, yeah, we're listening to starboard side now. Someone keeps ringing the bell in the crow's nest. I think you should get out of there before the forward bow area floods. As you can see, wow, G-deck portholes near the post office is already going under the waterline. That's scary. And what are you? Don't you dare play with the lifeboats, you idiot. I bet there will definitely be some confusion in this staircase now, but I don't think anyone would be any of the wiser of what is actually going on now. Like, many were probably just confused, maybe thought there was maybe a lifeboat drill or something going on, and nobody knew that the ship was literally sinking from underneath them. Like, imagine that. That's really scary, and we're like tilting so hard to the starboard side now. Oh my god, this is boiler room 6, I believe, is now completely underwater. Boiler room 5 is completely inaccessible at the moment. That's problematic. Third class dining room still look to be fine. Let's actually look down into the fireman's areas. Let's go through this door up here into the forecastle deck. Go down into the fireman's quarters. Let's see, we're on D deck now. E deck, F deck, and G deck. Oh my god, G deck is already completely underwater, guys. We don't have that long. Oh my god, there's a lot of water down there, guys. I don't think we have that much time, honestly. I think we have like 20 minutes left. Yeah, wow, it's going quickly. The F deck portals are nearly at the waterline. Now by this point the ship's sinking would most likely stagnate, and yeah, it would slowly start rolling over to the port side in about an hour or so. And yeah, going down into the grand staircase, as you can see, it's very empty, but I bet there would be like so many passengers piling into the grand staircase, waiting for the lifeboats to be prepared, as many during this time most likely wouldn't have been too keen on going outside in the cold. And apparently many of the people actually didn't want to go into these tiny little boats on the deck, because obviously everything's very dark and stuff. So yeah, I doubt it would have been very safe, or at least it wouldn't have looked very safe to have these tiny boats here, very rickety little boats. And yeah, wow. And now by this time the lifeboats would have been prepared most likely, so everyone would be aware that or at least the crew would be aware that the ship is sinking. All of the yeah, the checkups and everything would have been concluded with very bad news. Captain would have been informed a little bit ago probably, and yeah, now E deck is now going under, so yeah, it's most likely like 1240 or something. Let's actually check down into the forecastle deck, and now as you might have noticed, the steam sound stopped playing, so most likely the steam is not done venting, which is actually a very important thing, because if cold seawater hits the warm boilers, or the very hot boilers actually, there could have been an explosion if the steam hadn't been vented beforehand. And oh my god, the Scotland Road is already flooding. So by this point Barrett would have probably left the boiler rooms and seen the water rush up the Scotland Road, and he would have left most likely for the grand staircase or maybe somewhere else. I don't know all the exit points. And yeah, it's very scary now. Like, I think we're starting to right ourselves. The ship is actually slowly recovering from the starboard list, so because of the Scotland Road flooding and the port side of the cargo holds being flooded ages ago. Now here in second class, it probably was a very dire situation as well. Many people would have possibly been cottoning on to what is actually happening, as the ship's list is starting to get worse towards the bow. And yeah, there might be reports and banter coming in from people who witnessed the lower parts of the ship flooding now that the Scotland Road is completely gone. So I bet there would be some minor panic now going on as well, even back here where the situation doesn't even look that bad. Going down into the reception room, as you can see, it's actually still very empty. So in real life, this area of the ship would have most likely been completely darkened. All the lights would have been out. Maybe the dining room lights would have been on, since people were some of the stewards would have been preparing the dining room for breakfast actually. So that part of the ship might have actually still been lit up and stuff, but the reception room would have most likely been completely void of people, except maybe some stewards rushing in and out from the staircase and the dining room doorways. But most likely they would have been going from the galleys anyway, but some might have been leaving because their shift ended. And why is this door open? Let's quickly close that, and let's also quickly open this door. And yeah, nobody would have witnessed, as you can see, the E-deck Scotland Road area flooding, except maybe a steward or two who would have been down here for some odd reason, maybe getting some stuff. But as you can see, this area is flooding fast, and nobody would have been the wiser except someone who might have looked down the well. So many first-class passengers looking down the grand staircase would have most likely been very panicked by this point, since I don't think anyone would have liked that view of the water down there sloshing about and rising slowly but surely. So this would have been around 1 AM possibly. I'm not very good with my times, but that would possibly be when this was happening. And yeah, looking into the bow, yeah, it's actually surprisingly dry actually, so I'm not sure if this area would have been in use at all. Like, there were apparently a lot of third-class passengers who didn't speak English in third-class dining rooms that sadly all died because they didn't know the instructions of the crew, because they couldn't understand the language, so they were all grouped in the third-class dining rooms and didn't know what to do. So that was very sad actually, but I'm not sure if the third class open space also had people in it. I would guess so, but I'm not sure. But by this point many people would have rushed out anyway, since there's water coming up the steps fairly quickly now. And as you can see, the ship has completely righted itself, so it's gonna start listing to port now, with the Scotland Road being completely flooded and the portside rooms being steward rooms actually starting to be flooded, and also the first class entrance doorways being open, or at least one of the doorways being open. The other one is closed, but that's actually a very good talking point. I personally actually like, there are multiple accounts, many accounts point to the door being open, but the lifeboat that actually was lowered on top of that doorway actually never had any problems regarding that door. So I assumed the door was actually closed, just it wasn't closed correctly, so it wasn't airtight. So that would be my assumption, since the crew was some crew had to go down and open some doors. My theory was they first tried E deck, they saw that there was water very close, so they went up to D deck, opened that door, saw the water was still very close, closed up the door, didn't lock it properly, and water still got in somehow. That would also explain why the ship listed to port so fast, even with the, like, yes, Scotland Road was on the port side, but I don't think it helped, it was that much of contributor, at least a lot, but not to the point of 9 degrees to port. Like, that is a lot of degrees, and that would have somehow needed to get into the ships without anyone noticing. As you can see, the ship is actually stalling somewhat. The water down here is barely higher than it used to be, and the water is now near this door here, as you can see. Almost fell into the water. That could have been bad. Now by this point the passengers would have been panicked completely, since the bow would have been flooding by this point, most likely. I'm actually gonna go down there now for the officers' quarters. Now the Marconi operators would have gotten a little panic now too, since they were losing power most likely by this point. And yeah, the ships were coming, like the Carpathia obviously was coming 4 hours away. The Olympic actually actually offered their help, but the Marconi operators didn't want that, since it would have been too scary for the passengers to see an basically identical ship on the horizon appear. Many would have probably suffered some PTSD problems, so they declined their offer. Then there was a lot more ships, actually. I believe like the Celtic might have been there as well, or the Baltic. It might have been the Baltic, actually. I don't know. And many ships were actually there. Maybe there was a Virginian, and there were a lot of ships that were offering to help. But there was one ship, the Californian, that was out there somewhere that was lit up and everyone could see it, but nobody could get their attention, and that actually was the focus of the crew, who tried to basically get their attention with the fireworks, and that sadly never worked. And yeah, that was a problem, and nobody really can say why and yeah, what happened there. And yeah, as you can see, it must be like 1:30, 1:40 now, since the well deck is now starting to flood. Now by this point everyone would be panicking. The list of the ship would have increased to 9 degrees, and even though us as humans can have lists go unnoticed into like the 5-degree range, by the point of 9 degrees, yeah, even you would have noticed, even if you weren't an eagle-eyed observer. So yeah, it would have been very noticeable by this point that the deck would have been slanting to the port side, and now obviously that the bow is flooding quickly. Like, that is very obvious in my opinion. Now I did notice the timing of the sinking on nowadays is a little different to what it used to be, as the ship stalls a lot more when the water's on E deck, which it didn't do before, which is very nice that they did that. So they did update it somewhat. Even if they didn't change the ship, they changed how it sank, which is very nice. It's always nice that they make sure to get the best stuff and the best knowledge of the sinking and implement it. And as you can see, the reception room is now sinking, which is not very good at all. As you can see, this is kind of like that Jack and Rose scene in the movie where the reception room was slowly flooding. I actually liked that scene, and there was actually a massive deleted portion of it where I believe Lovejoy was coming after them with the gun. And yeah, that was a very interesting scene, because they actually made the dining room slowly flood over time, which is very interesting for me to watch. And yeah, sadly most of that got cut out in the movie, but that's a little bit of trivia right there for ya. And wow, yeah, now the forecastle deck is now, or the forecastle or the forecastle deck is now completely underwater. And yeah, the B deck upper area is now also flooding. As you can see, B deck, the bulwarks are almost going under too, so it's almost 2 AM by this point, and the ship is losing power fast, so the lights would have started to get a red tint of some sort, and the Marconi operators would have gotten very panicked by this point, since a lot of the ships would have been out of range now, so they would have to gone off maybe the emergency set, and even that didn't have a lot of range. As you can see, there are a lot of lifeboats are leaving now. Here at the bow, there would have been a lifeboat hanging here for quite a while. I believe it was over here, because they couldn't open the promenade windows since they actually wanted to load the boat through the promenade. But it never worked, so at least for a while it didn't. And they finally found the key like an hour later or so, and then they finally managed to lower the boat. But yeah, that was hanging there for quite a while, so that is also very interesting. That everyone, all the officers were very confused, and yeah, and still a lot of boats actually, yeah, got stuck for quite a while because of the mismanagement sometimes. Now, you can't really call it mismanagement because they did manage everything amazingly well for what they had to deal with, since, yeah, this was a very short time period in that they managed to sink, in that they managed to lower all the lifeboats, like all 16 standard lifeboats were lower, and even all the collapsible boats were at least dealt with in some sort of manner. The ship's now starting to groan a lot, as you can hear. It's starting to break apart a little bit, so the aft area near the expansion joint is probably under a ton of stress now, since the stern is coming out of the water. As you can see, the forward areas of the ship are flooding real quick, so yeah, the ship is under a lot of tension, and it's going to be very interesting to see it break. Now, as you can see, the tint of the windows is now starting to get a little more reddish now that the power of the ship is being lost, and some people are rowing away in the boats, and some of the very last boats actually to leave the ship, since it's near the end now. As you can see, there's water coming up the port side staircase with a lot of blubbering of the water. The port side wing is now touching the water too. And yeah, this is very sad. Now, Andrews and the captain would now be on the bridge, and yeah, Andrews never really was in the smoke room, maybe like early in the sinking, like at 1 AM or something like that, but definitely not during the end of the sinking. It was at the bridge, according to some survivor accounts. And as you can see, the bridge is flooding fairly fast now. Oh my god, this grand staircase is already flooding. You can see the promenade out there is completely underwater. And also the sad music is not playing. Oh my god, all the elevators is now starting to flood, and there's water coming out of them. That's really scary. Wow, there's water blubbering up the grand staircase and pooling now in the upper A-deck lobby. Oh my god, the officers' quarters are gone now. By this point, the wireless operators would have been outside trying to get I believe collapsible D off the ship, and yeah, one of them would get stuck under it. And yeah, wow, that red hue of all the lights is very scary. What are you doing down there? Get away from the ship now. And yeah, the ship is sinking fast, and I don't think we have that long. As you can see, the grand staircase is gone. There's nothing left of it. The dome is probably about to collapse too. Like, oh my god, the wave from the first funnel just collapsed. Oh my god, I completely missed that. And now, yeah, the grand staircase is gone, guys. Let's get out. We're on the compass platform. Now, this is a very interesting spot to be during the sinking, actually. You never really think about being up here. And wow, yeah, you can just see the forward grand staircase be completely engulfed by the water. It's rushing up the deck. Like, according to some survivors, it did actually rush up the deck with kind of like a wave, because the ship was plunging by this point. Apparently, Officer Lightoller actually got sucked into one of the vents almost, and when there was an explosion down low in the ship, he was freed just barely, so he managed to survive that night. But oh my god, man, that was probably the scariest moment of his life, honestly. Yeah, the water is really rushing now. As you can see, it's engulfing all of the railings now of the raised promenade. The lounge underneath would probably be flooding. Same with the gymnasium, it would be gone by this point. Why are you guys still here? Like, you're gonna get sucked down with the ship at this rate if you're gonna stay here. My god, that looming second funnel. So it's not gonna be standing for a while, and not for a lot longer anyways. yeah, there's a lot of water coming around it now. The water's probably gonna yeah, dent the funnel like a tin can, and it's gonna cause all the ropes to snap, and yeah, the funnel's gonna collapse. And yeah, there it goes. Oh my god. Now it would have fallen to the starboard side like the first funnel, but they did it a little more conventionally here. Now by this point the ship's stress would have gotten very bad, to the point where the bottom part of this area would have started to literally compress like a tin can, and the top part would have started to separate. Everyone would most likely be rushing towards the deck. Now in the movie you see the ship like tilt a lot, but in real life that wouldn't have been the case at all, like maybe 20 degrees, no more. Now as you can see, we just lost power. The emergency lights are now on, but we're not gonna be over the waterline for a lot longer at least. And now the bottom part of the ship is compressing and the top part is separating, and the ship is now actually, yeah, breaking from the bottom to the top, and now yeah, it's separated. Now this area where it collapsed, it actually broke into a few sections. I believe the aft and forward tower were some of the major sections it broke into, so it separated a lot into a lot of pieces that can be found on the Atlantic floor at least. As you can see, the water is rushing towards us, so oh my god, let's leave quick. Let's go to the back of the ship. There's a lot of water coming towards us. Why are those lights still white? Doesn't make any sense. It should be portholes anyway. I believe it's portholes. Oh my god, yeah. We're now the sterns are rising again. Now some said the stern actually tilted and capsized to the port side, but I doubt that. I think it did lean over a little bit, or quite a bit, but it actually was more straight, and it only had a slight tilt and never capsized. But I have to check my notes on that. Maybe it did actually capsize, and don't think that it was actually ever clear at all. Oh my god, yeah, it's getting pretty slippery. The aft superstructure is getting consumed and I'm missing it. Oh my god. Yeah, oh my god, I'm sliding down the deck. So you can see the second class aft grand staircase, or aft staircase, is now being enveloped, and I'm falling into the water soon, it seems. I'm barely holding on to the railing. Oh my god. But the stern is actually doing fine for a little bit, it seems. I never knew that the stern actually was fine for a while. Oh my god, it just fell off. Yeah, the stern is turning to the port side, so yeah, it did actually turn a little bit like a corkscrew apparently. And now there goes the superstructure. It's going, guys. We don't have a lot of time left. Get into the lifeboat. Quickly row away from the ship. Oh my god, yeah, there was water everywhere. My god, what a view. Now many wouldn't have witnessed it like this. Many would have been barely been over the waterline, and yeah, would have had trouble swimming, and some would have been in lifeboats hundreds of meters away. But yeah, so many of the people wouldn't have witnessed it like this. And wow, yeah, that's an incredible sight of the ship just slipping under the water. Yeah, everyone pile into my boat. Why is my boat sinking? What did you do to my boat? Help! There goes the ship and my boat too. Oh my god. Anyways, guys, and that is it for today. I hope you liked that that's analysis and gameplay. I don't really know what to call it anymore, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And if you liked it, leave a like, maybe comment some suggestions down below, subscribe if you like this content, and just have a good day, everyone.